Name? ¿Cómo se llama? Rodi?
Rodi, yes.
R-O-D-I.
R-O-D-I.
R-O-D-I. Okay,
Yeah,
where are you from?
Current.
Where are you from?
Original from Holland.
Holland, okay.
Yeah.
Ola Dula Dorf. Kinsa Kinsa Koff. Yes, is that it?
Yeah.
Ola Dula, and you're from?
From
Pizza? Switzerland. How could I tell? Turn around, turn around. How can we tell you were from Switzerland? You got you're very good. Okay. So you were Nicole, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Letter said you were a man.
Huh?
The letter said you were a man over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is Anna. Anna, where are you from?
Canada.
Canada, okay. And over there, we have Tall Paul.
Hello.
Tall Paul.
Well,
all right, so Jerry, who you got? You got all the names now?
Yes.
All right, let me hear them now. Who are they?
we have Heather and Ralph,
Yeah,
Dale and Beth.
right,
We have Rhoda and Pete.
right.
And we have Nicole. I don't know who Nicole is.
Nicole's the tour guide.
And Nicole, and we have Paul and Anna.
Paul, is he just Paul?
Tall Paul.
Tall Paul,
And
okay.
from England.
From England, by
and
way
Anna
of New
from
Zealand,
Canada.
right? And Anna from Canada.
And that's
Okay.
it. I don't know of anybody else. Anna's
Okay.
by herself, I think.
Anna's by herself.
And
She's
Paul's
looking.
by
She said she wanted to know if you were available.
And I told her no.
You told her no. You didn't lie. You're lying
No, I
already.
did not. I'm not interested
Okay, not interested in Anna.
in
Okay.
anybody.
Okay,
I'm happily married.
good. Okay.
I don't think I'm going to get on this trip anybody who's going to ask how do you know my grandfather?
My grandmother.
My grandmother.
My grandmother.
My grandpa.
Everyone looks normal on this trip so far, right?
Everyone looks normal.
Except us. Except we're the crazies this time, right? Right? We've been on group tours, and this is the first
You know what?
time they all
They'll be
seem
looking at
normal.
us the way we were looking at them, those crazy people from Ecuador. It was the Loco Express, the Ecuadorian trip.
What's our first stop on the tour? The little fortress right over here,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And what's so special about the fortress? What can you do for $1?
Throw the baby overboard. No, $3.
Okay. And that goes right through the equator.
Yes, the equator
So that's
goes-
interesting. So there's snow on the equator.
Yes, there is, because it's very high. It's very high.
What is this?
In Africa too.
In Africa
The
also?
Cayenne just
Cervenzori is
Yeah.
has the most glacier in Africa and is just on the equator.
Okay, there's snow also in
You get
Switzerland.
here,
Well,
there, the road will take. Here we're looking towards the west, the east, sorry, the east. So, just to tell you a little bit about Quito and the history of Quito, this area. Quito, as you can see, is an area surrounded by mountains, and the terrain or the landscape is very rugged. There's a lot of ravines and a lot of gorges and a lot of little hills and a lot of big cordilleras. And Quito is in the middle in a valley, no? It's a big plateau that is surrounded by mountains. So we have on that side you can see that mountain is called the Pichincha, and the province, we are in the Pichincha province because of this big mountain. It's called the Pichincha. And
This was not a volcano, right, that we're on?
no, this is not a volcano. This is actually a nice plateau. Imagine back in time, this was all filled by a beautiful mountain, like cloud forest, full of beautiful trees and a lot of mosses and lichens and bromeliads that went in the trees, lots of birds. So there's still some areas, but it's actually one of the ecosystems in the country that suffers the most because it is on these inter-Andean valleys, which is also the soil that is more fertile. So, and where the people will get into they want to live. So there were many civilizations that lived here before the Incas arrived, very important. And one of the first first were the Inca culture that was actually located in that valley around a small hill that we can't see because of this hill here. It was called the Ilaló, and they were around 10,000 years before Christ. And they were nomads, they were hunters and gatherers, and used a lot of the obsidian as a tool to cut and to live. And then more to the north we have also another culture. It was called the Cotocollaos. Those are kind of the most relevant, and they were more around 2,500 years before Christ over to 500 years after. And they were more, they started to build a little towns, no? So they were starting to do agriculture, they were starting to to have domestic animals with them, and they were a very, very important civilization and thriving and growing, but there were an eruption in the Pichincha and in another small, which wasn't that small by that time, volcano called Pululagua, which is towards the north. And that was the end of the civilization.
What was the name of that group? What was the
Group
name?
Cotocollaos. Cotocollaos. And we are located in a very active area, geological speaking, and well, we have the Andes that crosses the country from north to south and divides in two cordilleras. So we have the western, and Pichincha is on the western cordillera, and for example, Cayambe is on the eastern cordillera.
Dan zaten ze op de Cayambe. It goes south to the Amazonas.
To the Amazonas, yeah, that's right. And so there was constructed with gold, full of gold, where the king would take baths of gold powder, and there was all these stories, and the Spanish wanted all those resources from the Americas. No, they took a lot of gold, a lot of minerals, and especially gold they wanted. So he went with huge expeditions of hundreds of people, hundreds of indigenous people that actually died on the way. It took him, I think, 8 months, but he finally got to the Atlantic Oceans, never found El Dorado, but he discovered all the way, got to the Amazonas River and get all the way to the
He's looking for a city of gold? Is that
Yes,
it?
El Dorado.
City of gold.
Mhm.
All right, I'm standing near this little monument of Francisco Orellana. This is Evelyn. For $1 you could throw her off the cliff.
Wait a minute, I gotta get this thing.
And what's amazing about this, he was looking for the mythical city of gold. But before he did that, he raided the town and made everybody wear the same clothes. I don't know why, but he did it. Okay.